Okay, now let's look at whether positioning strategies can be globally standardized or it should be localized. And this is a very difficult question to address and answer because there really is no straightforward answer to this complicated question. But one way of looking at it is that it may depend on the type of product category, the nature of the product category. In other words, there's research that suggests that standardized positioning across markets may be more effective or most effective when the product category is either high-tech, it's a high-tech type of product, or it is a high-touch type of product, like a luxury good or an emotional good. Whereas when the product category is somewhere in the middle of being high-tech and high-touch, where the vast majority of products actually fall under, then a more localized positioning strategy may be effective as opposed to a globalized, standardized positioning strategy. The next slide kind of shows you this in greater detail. So if we have this continuum that ranges from, on the left-hand side, high-tech products, which shares the common shared language of technical details. It's about speed, it's about efficiency, productivity. Whereas on the right-hand end of the continuum, we have more of the high touch, the feeling, the sensory type of products, where they compete based on emotions. And they have this universal theme, such as fragrances, such as cosmetics, such as high-end apparel, such as luxury goods, such as cinema. These are all high-touch type of products that appeal to the emotions, that appeal to the feelings of people. People have, whether you're, from Asia, Africa, or from Europe, or North America, or Latin America. There's a lot of universal emotions that people, possess, regardless of where you're from. A lot of people, most people, they like fun. They like love. They like to be, they like to have, self-fulfilling feelings. Sex appeal is something that a lot of people, strive for. So there's a lot of universal themes that are appealing to people from different cultures. So when you have a type of product that appeal to that, such as these high-touch products, you may be able to apply and use a standardized type of positioning that is universal. And the same logic goes to high-tech type of products, where they speak the common language. So you see very little differentiation in terms of positioning for computer type of products, for laptops, for tablets, or for that matter, for cellular phones. I mean, you develop a phone and they pursue a very similar type of positioning strategy across markets. Our next topic is concerned about culture and positioning. So some product may be perceived the same product, actually, depending on the culture, the different cultures, may be perceived in totally different ways. So for instance, a same product may be perceived as trustworthy in a high uncertainty avoidance culture where decreasing anxiety and ambiguity is of high interest. Whereas the same product may be perceived as innovative in a low uncertainty avoidance culture where change is welcomed and embraced. Whereas the same product can also be perceived as prestigious in high power distance cultures because in such a culture, in such a market, increasing social status or status symbol is of priority. So the same product may be perceived and positioned differently depending on the cultural nuances of the market in which it is being positioned in. And positioning across cultures requires some special attention. For instance, trying to utilize and apply a standardized global positioning strategy across different markets that have different cultural nuances may be a very bad strategy, may backfire. For instance, opting for consistency stems from an obsession for control. It would be a fundamental error to attempt to project your own value of consistency into strategies targeted at consumers of different cultural values. So when there are different cultural values in different markets, and you're trying to position your product in a very consistent manner, that may not be the way to go. And a lot of companies actually do that because it's easy to do, and it promotes, it enhances controllability. And a lot of the times companies want to control their own destiny, and they feel very uncomfortable when they lose that control. So they opt for consistency or standardization. But when there's different cultural nuances in different markets, that may be a bad option to choose.